Hello, and welcome to the Prodigal Son series. Way back in my college training days, whenever we had any project or experiment for that matter, we had the main project and another control experiment aside. The control experiment mainly exposed the difference between the two projects. Thus, I believe that in life, there are people who position themselves as control experiments. They design themselves, or rather, position themselves in aspects where people can say, yeah, that's how life can be when you rebel or become disobedient or whatever the case. Their lives are basically a specimen for others to see and learn. This is evident in the prodigal son's parable. Inasmuch as we talk about the younger son and focus on him here, I believe that the elder brother's part here is quite significant in the whole parable. The elder brother is positioned here as a control specimen to a certain lifestyle, which I'm about to discuss, and unfortunately, this represents a majority of many a Christian. Let us get to the scriptures and proceed with the parable of the prodigal son. And I wish to read some two parts of the narrative. First, I wish to read from Luke 15 and verse 11. Luke 15:11. And he said, a certain man had two sons, verse 12. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falls to me. And he divided unto them his living. Okay, now let us jump to the next part, Luke 15, verse 17, all the way to verse 20. Luke 15, from verse 17. And when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare, and are perished with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him, and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. Well, in the first part of the story, the younger son went to his father and asked to be given. Father, give me. And this brings us to the first category of our experiment. The first category of people, the give me project. Here, when the younger son was given his portion, he apparently went and wasted it all and was in lack, as we read in Luke chapter 15 from verse 13. Luke 15 from verse 13. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country. And there he wasted his substance with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed swine. Verse 16. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husks that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. In verse 16, the scriptures tell us that he got to a point of desiring the feeds for the swine, but no man gave unto him. He got to a point where he could no longer be given anything by anyone anymore. He was at a point where he was about to graduate from the give me lifestyle. Before this turning point, I tend to believe that the younger son had gotten used to being given all along in his life. In fact, both sons were used to this lifestyle where they depended on their father to give them whatever they needed. They asked and were never denied anything. They were the give me type of sons. Give me money, give me love, give me this, give me that, give me kids. And once one is used to such a lifestyle, it becomes the norm. And as much as your father has everything to fulfill those desires, it doesn't seem like an issue or a problem at all. But it becomes an issue when you get to a far country where you exhaust what you had and I need, and there no one is willing to give you anything to fulfill your needs as you used to get from your father back at home. Here in the far country, it is everybody for himself. And this was the predicament of the younger son. No one, including his friends in the far country, gave him anything. This is the danger of those who expect to be given all the time. Once such a person gets to a country of lack and has his resources exhausted, that's when he discovers what happens when the rubber meets the road. Most of those who always expect to be given become lazy and do not know the pain of seeking. Even the Bible encourages us to seek if we are to find. Matthew chapter 7 verse 7, it says, "Ask and it shall be given you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you." And since many do not know the pain and joy of seeking, they end up wasting whatever they are given. And this was the predicament of the prodigal son, until he got to a point where he realized that he wasn't as important as he thought, that he could always be given anything he wanted at his request. It's at such a point that he came back to his senses, and he purposed to get back home and to his father. But this time, he wasn't going back to ask for more. But as he states in verse 19 of Luke 15, "And am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants." He asked to be made. Make me. Here, circumstances had made him change his tune from give me, to make me. This is where the give me lifestyle becomes the control specimen for the make me projects. Note that the prodigal son had graduated from a gimme son to a make me son. Friend, are you one of those Christians who always naively and innocently ask and pray to be given always? And this was the problem with the elder brother too. See his argument to his father in verse 29 of Luke 15. Luke 15 verse 29. "And he answering said to his father, Lo, these many years do I serve thee, neither transgressed I at any time thy commandment, and yet thou never gavest me a kid, that I might make merry with my friends." Though the elder brother was presumably mature, he still was under this give me syndrome. He still wanted to be given. And though living in abundance, we still notice that he lacked so much. The gimme project never have enough. The elder son here was the control experiment. He told his father that he has never been given anything. He had a give me mentality, give me attitude, and a give me spirit, which apparently made him to live a life of bitterness, anger, jealousy, unhappy always, complaining and not contented. I mean, though we abhor storms and such like challenges, I believe, like what happened to the prodigal son, tough experiences do enlighten us. They get our eyes open and bring us back to our senses, where we realize that there is more than just to be given. We can always decide to graduate from a give me person to a make me person. Both the give me and make me persons do receive something. However, the give me people always receive what is limited, while the make me persons receive the unlimited. Let us see the father's response to the younger son when he decided to return and ask his father to make him. How did the father answer his plea? Like our Heavenly Father, who knows what is in our heart even before we ask, the father did not wait for him to complete his sentence. He restored every bit of his prayer, every bit of his request. He was given even that which he did not request for: a ring, a robe, sandals, and the fatted calf. Well, give me grants you a portion of what you deserve, but make me allows you to have everything. When you ask God to give you, you'll only be receiving a portion of his kingdom. But when you ask him to make you, you become a partaker of everything in his kingdom. Friend, what's your prayer? Have you been asking God to give you finances, to bless you with a child, a job, a spouse, or a promotion, or whatever you've been requesting God for in prayer? It's a high time you graduated from a give me to a make me person. Are you praying for a husband? Why not ask God to make you a wife? I mean, change from asking God to give you a husband and ask Him to make you a wife. Are you praying for a wife? Why not ask God to make you a husband instead? And if you are believing God for a child, kindly ask God to make you a mother or a father for that matter. And if you are praying for finances, kindly ask God to make you a giver, a kingdom financier, or an employer. It sounds odd, sure, yes. It's odd when you get to your wit's end, but that's the way out. You can't definitely be a giver when you have nothing to give. Instead of give me blessings, ask to be made a blessing to others. For you cannot give what you don't have, and cannot have what you have not received, and cannot receive that which has no cause. A desert place is defined by lack and desolation. It cries out, give me, give me, give me rain, give me water, give me springs. But the same desert can turn into an oasis, a paradise. Once it cries out, make me a paradise. Giving rain to a desert cannot turn it into a paradise. But once the desert cries out to be made a paradise, streams and springs come out of the desert and thus turn into a Garden of Eden. My prayer is for you to become transformed from a give me control project to a make me believer. God bless you.